Here we have a 2010 Freightliner M2106. It has a pumper style body with an enclosed top mount panel. It was built for the Kensington PEI Fire Department. The chassis has a 350 horsepower engine with an Allison 3000 EVS transmission. It's a two-person cab with a Metalfab custom built console in the chassis, and then in the pump house there is seating for 3 SCBA geared firefighters. The body, it has a 1,000-gallon Imperial water tank. It has a Hale Q-Flow 1050 Imperial gallon per minute pump. It has a Foam Pro 2001 system with a 30-gallon integrated foam cell, and this unit has intermediate compartments on both sides to accommodate a porta tank and ladders. The enclosed pump panel has a custom paint that depicts a Canadian maple leaf. Underneath the seating area there are two pre-connects, speed lays, on a rollout tray that comes out 3/4 on either side. There is an entry door on either side of the pump house. On the left side pump panel we have a 6-inch inlet that is gated with a manual intake valve. There are two 2.5-inch discharges, one 2.5-inch inlet with all the associated drains for the discharges on this side. This unit has a small auto eject a battery conditioner mounted on the pump panel. On the middle of the pump panel we find a step that allows access to the pre-connect that's up top, and there is a painted aluminum pump panel access. On the body we find intermediate compartments with roll-up doors on the front and rear compartments. In the rear wheel well we find dual SCBA bottle holders. There is a manual porta tank rack that comes down for easier removal. The light system on this unit is a Whalen LED light pack. On the rear of the unit we have a compartment that houses a 2.5-inch direct tank fill. There are two suction hose tubes underneath the T of the tank that also holds two pike poles. There are dual 2.5-inch discharges on the rear and steps to access the hose bed. On the right side of the body we find an identical setup as the left side. The pump panel on this side has a 6-inch suction, dual 2.5-inch discharges, and a 2.5-inch inlet. The compartments are identical, and the upper portion we find a manual ladder rack that folds down for easier access. On the inside of the enclosed pump panel we find 3 SCBA seats with seat belts. There is a access to the front of the cab, and there are windows all around for visibility. On the pump panel we find a class 1 total pressure governor. We have a water level gauge. There is a heater system inside of the enclosed pump panel. We find our dual pump intake and pump discharge gauges, along with a primer and the controls for a Foam Pro 2001 system, along with a foam level gauge. Every discharge is color coded according to an FPA.